Hey all, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and today Elegant Mai has been released. It's another roaming duelist event. This one a little bit less fun than ones in the past, mostly because the drops aren't that great and she's pretty darn hard to farm, especially that level 40 version. But I do have a level 30 farm deck that I have tweaked and made work for me. So let's just quickly look at some of the drops that Mai offers here. We'll just quickly jump into the event page. So, if you win 3 duels against Mai, you get Hard Related 2, 7 duels, Hard Related 3, and then to play the total of 15 duels against, you get the new Ice Barrier card, a pretty cool Ice Barrier card. I don't think it makes anything hyper competitive, it doesn't make them tier 0 or anything like that, but it is a bonus for Ice Barriers. This card doesn't suck, it's not bad at all. It's Ritual Monster, so this is actually an interesting card. It's very weird, you could say the least. It has a lot of different effects that probably would work for a Synchro or Xyz deck, but as you can imagine, those are not functions of this game right now. And there is definitely a typo there. It's definitely not 28,000 attack, it's 2800 attack. And basically this card, once returned, you can reveal one monster in your hand, then target one face-up monster on the field. That target's level becomes equal to the level of the revealed monster until the end of this turn. Also, once per turn, if the monster is tributed from your hand or field, except during the damage step, you can target one monster graveyard, add it back to your hand. That's about the only effect that I would see competitive in this whole thing. And even that's kind of a stretch. It's just it's an interesting card. So the drops of this whole set so far don't exactly look like they're going to be meta competitive for the collection, I guess, and maybe for future expansions. Let's get the Swift Birdman Joe, which is just a card that sends all the spell and trap cards back to their owner's hands when its tribute summoned out successfully with a wind monster. And it's 2300 attack, so it could fit in a few decks, but honestly it's nothing groundbreaking at all. And then we have some Amazon support. So we get Amazoness Archers. Activate only when your opponent declares an attack while you control an Amazoness monster. All monsters your opponent controls change to face-up attack position. Both effects are not activated, and lose 500 attacks as long as they remain face-up on the field. Your opponent must attack with all their monsters. So that's a pretty good card, I gotta say. Amazon, that's pretty good support. I would probably want to get this card the most out of the cards so far, as well as Queen's Pawn. Activate only when an Amazoness monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. Special summon one level 4 lower Amazoness monster from your deck. So that's pretty awesome. Good little special summon. I'd like to get 3 of each of those just for future possibilities of running Amazon as a top tier meta deck. But other than that, I'm not really looking out for too much more for the drops. I'll definitely just fight Mai, so I'll be able to get the Princess of the Ice Barrier for sure. Those are the 2 drops I'm mainly looking for, the 2 Trap Amazoness cards. So that's the event. Why don't we jump into the deck that I'm using to farm the level 30 Mai with? I think it's fairly consistent. So far, I have played 4 duels against Mai, one of which was against level 40 and the rest have been level 30s. The level 41 was a fail, and the level 30s were successful each and every run. So using this specific deck, the one I exactly have here, I've been using successfully farmed Mai for 8,000 points each time. So this deck utilizes the Labyrinth Builder ability. Now, that's ability that I get a lot of slack for using because not everybody has it, but we gotta be real here, this is the most consistent one. So you should try to get Labyrinth Builder with your Paradox Brothers as quickly as you can, because it is definitely used in a lot of farms, and that's just generally the best way we have to farm a lot of people right now. But if you guys don't have Labyrinth Builder, there is Unhappy Girl builds, but they're not nearly as consistent. So the Unhappy Girl is what I tried to use for level 40. If you don't draw the Unhappy Girl right away, then you really do fall apart. This, you will always get your Labyrinth Wall out first turn. So that's why I'm using Labyrinth Builder, and this is why I recommend using this deck to farm for consistency reasons. So the biggest thing that we need to look out for with Elegant Mai is her special summoned wind monster, and that allows her to swap the battle position of a monster during our end phase. So to stop that, we use Ultimate Providence. So Ultimate Providence, when a spell / trap card or monster effect is activated, discard the same type of card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So with this, we can negate the only threat that we have to our farm, and that is that one wind monster. So that's why I only have 2, so I supplemented 1 Divine Wrath in there, but you can most certainly just use an Ultimate Providence. Divine Wrath is a little more versatile, because you might have an extra trap card in your hand. You could always just discard that to stop the monster effect, instead of having to use the Ultimate Providence as 1-for-1 effect there. So that's the 3 cards, and to get those out quickly, you can use a Cat of Ill Omen. So this is a card that you get from a Seiju. It's a level up reward. And what you do is you can select 1 trap card from your deck and place it on the top of your deck, which is really key. So you'll draw that in during your next turn. And of course, Necro Valley is not in the game, so you cannot just add the selected card to your hand right away. So this is just a way to search out your trap cards. And if you already have one of your Ultimate Providences or your Divine Wrath, depending on what you have, then you can always search for your Spell Reclamation if you don't have 2 Union attacks, like I only have the 1. This card allows you to discard 1 card to chain this to a spell card you activated, and then when the spell card goes to the graveyard, you can add it back to your hand instead. So that essentially allows you to grab your Union attack back. Union attack. Everybody should know what Union attack does at this point. And because we're using Ultimate Providence to stop that 1 card that in Mai's deck, you need to make sure that you have some monster cards to discard to actually use Ultimate Providence. So that's why we have, for our draw engine, a whole bunch of flip effect monsters that allow you to draw a card. They're basically just Shards of Greed. They're fairly good. I just tossed in the 1 Shard of Greed because it is likely Mai will get out her Swift Joe pretty quickly. So Shard of Greed will be able to be utilized, and I only run the 1. I definitely wouldn't run more than 1. I just run it because it kind of helps make this deck a little bit quicker. These are just the flip monsters that I chose to run in the deck. You can use literally anything you like. I like Crystal Seer because it allows you to make sure that your Spell Reclamation for sure does not end up on the bottom of your deck, and kind of gives you a little bit more variety of choice when choosing what card to add to your hand, because it allows you to activate the top 2 cards of your deck and then add one of them to your hand and place the other at the bottom. So very key, very important, and very, very useful. Now, during the final turn, you have to make sure Spell Reclamation set, obviously because it's a trap card, you have to use that on your final turn. So what you do is you take your Labyrinth Wall, you switch into attack position, and then you activate Shield and Sword. So Shield and Sword will switch the original attack and defense of all face-up monsters currently on the field until the end phase. So your Labyrinth Builder is in face-up attack position, has 3000 attack now, and it's going to sit there till the end of your turn. But you're going to special summon out using Ritual Foregone by paying 1000 life points. That's no hardship. You shouldn't take any damage during this entire duel. If you take damage during this duel, probably an unsuccessful farm. So you pay that 1000 life points, you special summon 1 ritual monster from your hand. The ritual monster special summoned by this effect cannot attack, and it's destroyed during the end phase. That doesn't matter, this is the final turn, you're going to win this turn anyways. To bring out any ritual monster, that its combined attack twice, plus Labyrinth Wall's combined attack twice, plus your vassal will equal over 10,000. So I just tossed in the Black Luster Soldier. I like the Black Luster Soldier. You can really just toss in anything that you want though, as long as it adds up to make sure your vassal's over that 10,000 score. When vassal attacks, it actually does effect damage instead of battle damage, so that gives you the extra 1000 points. Now vassal can attack directly using Secret Paths of the Treasures. This is a very key card in all farm decks. Don't really need to go over that much anymore. Every farm deck I do has it in it. And that's just so your vassal can attack directly, because your opponent will very most likely have monsters on the field. So that's the completed farm deck. It's very consistent. If there's any consistency issues, just let me know down below and I can work with you guys on it. But I have yet to have this fail for a level 30, so that's really good right there. Level 40 is a very much different story. This deck will not work for it once again. So let's take a look at a good run through, and then we can see exactly what needs to be done for a successful farm. And I'll talk to you at the end of the video. Alright, and there we go. Once again, successful farm. It does get you that full 7,000 if you don't have this bonus duel reward, but the bonus duel reward is going to be on for more than half of this event, so I would say this is an 8,000 farm essentially for this, but it's a 7,000 base farm, and that's okay with me. It is level 30, so the likelihood of drops are already pretty reduced. Honestly, I would like to build a better level 40 farm, but once again, that will not be happening just yet. I gotta play test, check out what the community has to offer, but I'm not too sure we can find one that really works super well right now. They're gonna make it very difficult to farm. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below and I'll be sure to answer them as quickly as I can to the best of my ability. Hope you enjoyed watching, hope to catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.